Hey friends, welcome back. Today we're going to be working on the Addams Family Inspired Dollhouse, and we're going to be working on the outside, starting with the shingles. To do the shingles, I'm going to be using this super glue, wood glue from Dollar Tree because it dries faster and it works good wood to wood. I like to go ahead and lay my glue all over the roof where I'm going to be putting the shingles and then add them. It speeds up the process. Once I do one row, I try to let it dry a little before I start on the next row to keep the shingles from falling. The shingles that I'm working with, they're real thin, like paper thin. I forgot where I got them from, but they dry easy, which is what I like. These are not the shingles that came with the dollhouse. I ran out of those a long time ago. These are some shingles that I bought offline somewhere. I don't think it was Amazon. I want to say Michael's is where I got the shingles. But if I figure it out, I'll tell you guys later. But they're real paper thin, which makes them dry faster. So I have the shingles all on there. They are dry. So now I'm going to begin painting. I'm going to be using the Hunter green paint and black paint mixed together to give it a dark green look. The paint I'm using, I got them from Amazon, but I think they are also at Walmart and Hobby Lobby. I like to use this type of paintbrush because it goes in between the crevices where you need the paint to go so it doesn't show the wood. I really hate doing shingles, but the after look is beautiful. All right, so this is what it looks like all painted. I'm going to go ahead and let it dry, and we're going to move around to the front and work on the graveyard. This is not a whole lot of area to work with, but this is what I have because I want it to be able to fit through the door. On the right side of the screen, I'm just going to be doing grass and gravel. And then on the left side is where the graveyard would be. I'm going to use this moss and this brown sand that I got off of Amazon to get this job done. First thing I want to do is paint the wood brown so you won't see the wood in between any grass spots that I may miss. All right, now that it's all painted, I do have to let it dry before laying the moss. All right, so the area that I'm working on is now dry. So I'm going to take the moss that I showed you in the beginning and begin pulling the pieces apart so that I can lay them onto the painted area. I'm going to use tacky glue to adhere the moss, if I can get it out of this container. You guys, I'm in the garage. It's very cold, so I think my glue is frozen. The tacky glue is trying to come out the bottle. I'm probably going to have to use another method as far as gluing the moss to the board. I don't want to spread it out too thin, just enough to where I can add the moss so that it stays. This glue is definitely not making this easy. I'm going to have to transition to Elmer's glue so that I can spread it across the entire board. All right, now I have the Elmer's school glue that I'm going to be using, and it comes out perfectly. I'm going to spread it across the board so that I can add the moss. Much, much, much better. All right, so again, I'm using the sponge paintbrush to spread out the glue so I can add the moss. So I'm taking those pieces that I broke up and I'm pushing them down into the glue so that it can stick when the glue dries. Once I cover this area with moss, I do go back and break it up even more and push it down into the glue. All right, this is what it looks like. Now I'm going to mash the moss down just to make sure the glue seeps into each piece of moss. Unfortunately, this glue does not dry fast, so we will have to come back to see how the glue turned out. Thank you so much for watching my channel. I do appreciate each and every one of you guys. See you in the next video. Bye.